Hey, David, are you now ready to talk about who Joe Biden will likely select as his vice presidential running mate? Yes, I am. I've made it a point not to put the cart before the horse. So back in 2017 and 2018, before the midterms, people would say, what are you thinking about Democratic primary presidential candidates? And I said, I'm thinking about the midterm. I'll talk about that later. When we still had a primary going on, people would call into the show or ask me during live streams, who do you see as the best running mate for whoever is the nominee? And we didn't know who the nominee was going to be yet. And I said, let's take it one step at a time. So I'm going to answer the question as it's asked, which is, who do I believe is likely? I think right now, the top three possibilities for Joe Biden, given that he said he would be selecting a woman as his running mate, would be in no particular order: Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, and I would like to think Elizabeth Warren. Now, I've read conflicting things about the likelihood of a possible Warren running mate selection. And a number of opinions are she would be likely to be doing something in Biden's administration, but not VP. We've heard about Warren possibly as Treasury Secretary. That would be quite a change from Steven Mnuchin. We've heard about Warren possibly as Secretary of State. A lot is being floated around. So in no particular order, I think the most likely are Kamala, Warren, and Amy. Now, that being said, there's some other interesting names that are increasingly being discussed. Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, is increasingly being discussed. Her response to coronavirus has been notable. I don't know whether to call it good or bad. You know, a lot of the responses that are called really good are in states with a ton of cases. New York is an example. Michigan is an example. The argument would be, well, they'd be even worse off if it weren't for these governors. In any case, because Trump has been going after her, Gretchen Whitmer is very much in the public eye. Michelle Obama's been floated around. I don't see it. I just don't see it at all. Stacey Abrams, who fell short of winning the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial election to Brian Kemp. He was both running in that election and running the election as Secretary of State. Interesting, right? Stacey Abrams lost. She's being mentioned as a possible Biden running mate. I would be shocked if it's Stacey Abrams. It just doesn't feel like that's the direction it's going. And then a few people have emailed me saying that Bernie surrogate Nina Turner should be selected by Joe Biden. I see zero chance of that. I just don't see any way that becomes a reality. Tammy Duckworth has been mentioned. I think that would be an interesting pick, although it seems less likely than Amy, Kamala, maybe Warren. And then also the ideas has been increasingly floated. Some people are talking about Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, should replace Biden as the presidential candidate. I don't see how you make that happen. Again, unless something incredibly serious happened to Joe Biden, I don't see that. But the idea of drafting Cuomo as VP, of course, Biden would have to go back on having said he was going to pick a woman. I think that would look really bad. And I don't see Biden doing it unless circumstances that I can't even imagine come to fruition. But that's been mentioned as well. Abandon his call to select a woman and go with Andrew Cuomo, very high favorability and sort of in the public eye as a result of his coronavirus handling. Again, New York with a crazy amount of cases, Cuomo communicating well, communicating almost daily, and turning things around and getting to the peak much faster than many other states. It's an idea. It probably would be a helpful one in a vacuum, but going back on his word about a female running mate may have been a problem. This is why many people say you never want to commit to any identity boxes being checked by your candidate, because then you're artificially limiting yourself. Biden's calculation was saying he would select a woman would help him more than it would potentially limit his choices and do damage in the future. So if you said, David, you've got to bet, who is it going to be? I'm leaning towards Kamala. And this is not an endorsement of Kamala in any way. But if you said I have to bet on only one, I would guess Kamala Harris. I think we will soon know, Biden letting Bernie know several weeks ago that he was starting to vet vice presidential candidates. And we will all know very, very soon. We have a tremendous, I almost mixed terrific and tremendous. We have a tremendous bonus show for you today. 2 ways to get instant access to the bonus show. Become a member at joinpakman.com or become a patron at patreon.com/David Pakman Show. Both are instant, almost instant, 30 seconds, okay, with mild computer familiarity. And you will be able to check out my crazy police-related story that I told on the Monday bonus show from this past weekend. Don't miss it. Join Pakman.com, patreon.com/David Pakman Show.